You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
I'm excited to get started on today's Cabral Concept. We have our first Cabral house call of the weekend. So this is where we answer our community's questions each and every weekend for 2 shows back to back. And usually I can get in somewhere around between 5 and 8 of your questions. They've come in over the past 2 or 3 weeks. We're catching up always. We're about 2 weeks or so behind everyone's questions, but we always look forward to answering your questions. I'd love to be able to connect with you, and I'd love to play some small part in helping you just to get back on track, to get pushed in the right direction, and to begin to take the steps that you need to either lose the weight, to get well, or to really just feel alive again, to feel like you've taken control of your life, that you're starting to get healthier step by step, bit by bit. That's what it's all about. So I'm going to give you the direction to get started, and we're going to move forward from there. All right, so the first question is from Lauren today. We're going to get right into it. First question from Lauren. She's asking this. Hi, Stephen. I recently got an alarming amount of marks that look like welts, hives, bites, etc. all throughout my body. It began as very itchy, including my scalp, as if I had a bug in me. Then within 2 days throughout the day, I kept developing more welts, like marks that are very itchy, mostly in my torso. I'm very conscious of using fragrance-free products and generally sensitive to dry skin. I used to have eczema, went to a walk-in clinic. The doctor insisted it wasn't bug bites, but something called Pityriasis, Rosea. After looking at the symptoms of that, I have no similarities, nor do my marks look anything like that, as mine resemble mosquito, etc. Last week, I felt weird tingling in my left foot near my ankle, as if it was the sense of touch felt different on the ankle compared to the right side. Just thinking as if this could be related. I eat generally well and try to eat organic as best I can, but I'm not perfect and could be better. What route do you suggest take in regards to the above? I wish I lived in Boston to come to visit. Thank you in advance. Okay. So, Lauren, not that you and I ever have to meet. That's not what it's all about. But I'd just like to reiterate this, that about half my practice is completely worldwide, that it's international. I work with people on Skype video in the Middle East, Australia, the UK, Canada. Today I spoke with someone, from BC, so Canada. So, it's not that we can't speak. It's, of course, that I'm just not able to work with every person in the world, that's for sure. So what I like to do in these Cabral house calls is to give you the place to get started. And then, of course, you can also do lab testing through our website. And then you do get my review. You just speak with one of my health coaches to implement that plan. So, but of course, you never have to buy anything through the website. I just want to get you moving forward and also maybe pick up at some areas that a doctor might have missed. Okay, so just for people who don't know, Pityriasis rosea is actually, you can get an infection, you can get like a sore throat, you can get anything like that. And then sometimes you start to get these red bumps on your skin or almost like ring-like things. They're called Herald patches. It almost looks like ringworm, and they start to spread on the body. And it's a type of infection. It can be, it doesn't seem to respond well to fungal-based treatments, but it is this outcropping, this outgrowth of bacteria being pushed through the skin. Now, Lauren, in your case, since they're more like welts, hives, and bites, it certainly sounds like more of a histamine or a mast cell reaction. So a histamine reaction would be you eating something or being exposed to something, a chemical in your environment, a heavy metal, a food, whatever it is, and then your body producing this histamine, this allergic-based response. And so that could be very, very common. It really covers all of your symptoms, and that's what I would look at. Now, could you do a food sensitivity test? Yes. You want to see if this is ongoing. If this is an ongoing thing and comes and goes, the food sensitivity test is great because it's an IgG-based reaction. You can look into that. But also, you want to look at just overall, what are the things that you're coming in contact to? Like a lot of people who live on golf courses are being exposed to pesticides all the time. A lot of people who go into work, they might be exposed to mold, like in the vents or something like that. So start to look into that, Lauren. That's going to be my recommendation. And that high histamine-based reaction would be my first place to look. All right, caller's up next. Hi, Carla. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I believe I have a staph infection on my arms. I was wondering the best way to treat it myself. I know that they can become very serious, but I like to avoid going to a doctor and being given antibiotics. I've been applying turmeric poultices for 2 days to small open wounds on my arms, but haven't noticed much of a difference. Is there anything else I can do? Also, what can I do to prevent in the future? I do a martial art where I come in direct contact with other people, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Thank you very much for your work that you do, Carla. Okay, so I am into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts myself. I understand that you're rolling, call it rolling. That means going through the motions. If people are into martial arts, they know what rolling means. But basically, you're legitimately rolling in jiu-jitsu on mats that might not have been fully cleaned. You're touching other people's skin. That bacteria is coming in contact with your skin, and that can cause these infections. And so very important that we do a few things first, because staph infections are nothing to fool around with. You've heard me say before, what are the very few reasons that we ever need antibiotics? Life-saving conditions. Again, it's life-saving, meaning like if you didn't have it, you would die. Staph infection is actually one of those things, so we do have to be careful. What can we do, though, to help see if we can get rid of it? Washing it with apple cider vinegar. The acidity and tone to that apple cider vinegar can help the skin bacteria. What we're looking to do is actually have our own bacteria on our skin respond better and fight off other bacteria that it comes in contact with. The other thing that works pretty well is colloidal silver spray. So the first thing I would do is wash and treat the area with apple cider vinegar. I would allow it to dry, and then I would spray and let dry colloidal silver spray, okay? We'll link that up in the show notes today. After that dries, I would apply tea tree oil diluted with a little coconut oil if needed. And that tea tree oil will help kill any fungus, bacteria, and as will the coconut oil. So that would be my recommendation. These are pretty easy to come by. Whole Foods will pretty much sell all of these things, or Sprouts or a natural food store in your area is a great place to go for that. And then just Bragg's apple cider vinegar is the place to get started. So hopefully, Carla, that's helping you. You can also do the grapefruit seed extract drops internally to help kill bacteria as well. Oregano oil drops also work great too. Okay, Jess is up next. Jess is asking, hi, Dr. Cabral. I recently completed the candida and bacterial cleanse protocol, and I feel amazing. I have significantly less bloating and love the results. I have learned so much about how my body feels and how food affects it. So just for people who don't know, the candida and bacterial protocol, the cleanse that we have, is at stephencabral.com/store. And I want you to look at it. If you've ever dealt with bloating-based issues, digestive-based issues, we help people all over the world with this one protocol. They never have to come actually see us in our practice. They get phenomenal results. Honestly, so phenomenal that we have so many health practitioners referring their patients, their clients to us for our SIBO and bacterial-based protocols, candida-based protocols, because they just work so well. I mean, incredibly well. And it's honestly, it's one of my ways in trying to give back as much as I can. What we price it for is almost at cost. Like, that's not an exaggeration. We're giving you 9 different products over 12 weeks of a protocol for less than, I think it's like, I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you, but it's something like $290, something like that. It's unbelievably inexpensive. Now, I'm not trying to sell it to you, but I know it works. And so I just want those people that are dealing with it, like Jess was, to now get those good results. So now what's Jess dealing with? Well, she's dealing with still some white clumpy vaginal-based discharge that went away. She used to frequently get yeast infections. However, some of the discharges come back a little now that she's off of the protocol. I do sometimes getting some foul-smelling gas after meals, and I'm a health professional in the field, follow a specific shopping list, stayed away from those foods. I did lose some weight, and now I'm slowly trying to gain a little bit back. I haven't got my period in the last 2 months. I'm wondering if this white discharge is normal. There is no itching like before. Any input recommendations on gaining back weight without the causing increased candida growth would be helpful. Started the gut rebuilding protocol, but if you have any other suggestions for treatment, I'd be happy to help. Okay, so and again, you can always get the full question, not just the cliff notes, by going to that podcast page. So just today, stephencabral.com/505. Okay, that's today's show. So Jess, yes, let's help you out. Now, some people do well while doing the gut rebuilding protocol away from their probiotics. So you're taking your probiotic probably first thing in the morning and then right before bed, your daily probiotic support. Now that you're done with the whole protocol, is they do well with a little bit of oregano oil. And they do well to keep the yeast at bay for another few weeks or so. So that's your choice to do that. A lot of people do like to do that if you're someone that's more prone to these yeast and bacteria, because there are many different reasons for yeast and bacteria. Okay, so let me step back for 1 second. There's a difference between a vaginal-based yeast infection and yeast in the gut. So my recommendation is this. It's understanding that, and I've talked about this many times with bacterial vaginosis on the podcast, so feel free to tune back into those. But once we eliminate the yeast in the gut, it's going to hopefully then change the vaginal-based flora as well. But you may need to actually rebalance that area. And one thing we've gotten great success with is actually boric acid. So boric acid. And you're using that inside of vegetable-based capsules. And you use that as a vaginal suppository. All the women that I've worked with the same exact condition as you, we've cleaned up the gut. We do the healthy gut rebuilding protocol. And then initially, we'll do a vaginal-based insert of this boric acid, usually not for more than a couple days at a week at most. And you'll just do it before bed. You put the boric acid, you can do a very small amount at first, maybe a quarter to half a capsule, and you can do that as a vaginal suppository. Again, this is a suggestion. It's my opinion. You'll want to decide if it's best for you. This will help kill any type of fungus and yeast. After that, oftentimes, we'll use a capsule of Lactobacillus acidophilus or Pharmacology, which is part of your protocol. We will use that as a vaginal suppository as well, as an insert. That bacteria, the Lactobacillus strains only go as part of the vaginal flora. That will help then build up the acidity in the vagina. Now, that's very important. Why? Because it's not supposed to be an alkaline-based environment. Vaginal flora should be acid-based, which is why some women get this discharge as well a day or so after intercourse. So after they have sex, the vaginal flora becomes more alkaline. That allows then for the flourishing of yeast or candida. Not in all women, in women who are susceptible to it because of improper bacteria in the vaginal flora. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully that helps. We will try to link up the boric acid in those vegetable capsules in the show notes today. Okay. So just check out StephenCabral.com/505. All right. Up next is from MariEllen. Well, before we get to MariEllen, I wanted to just one little note. This is a side note on CBD oil. People asked me so I get this multiple times. I'm not going to call out any one particular person. Is it going to be banned again in the United States because they're trying to repeal the marijuana and cannabis-based acts? If marijuana gets repealed, CBD oil will get repealed most likely as well because it's part of the overall cannabis. And if they outlaw cannabis, then they outlaw CBD as well. What happens then? They do it through prescription only. So unfortunately, drug companies then get to mark it up. They get to do whatever they want. And then they're the ones who get to sell CBD oil, surprise, surprise, and not your average functional medicine doctor or someone that, can help you with those particular benefits. So that just answers that question, hopefully. I'm hoping that there's enough power now within the United States that they're not going to be able to repeal that in states that allows for the ethical use of CBD oil, which again is non-psychoactive, so you don't get any high from it. You just get the benefits from it. Hopefully that makes sense. I just wanted to answer that for the people out there who were wondering because they read it online that it might not be available for that much longer. As far as I know, it's going to continue to be available. That's everything that I've gotten from the farms that I work with, the organic farms. But yeah, it should be available. But of course, if they repeal it, then you will not be able to get it. So hopefully that helps. Okay, MariEllen's up next. MariEllen is asking, and she has a couple questions. So I'm going to do my best to really answer your questions, MariEllen. I know that you wrote in just about a week ago. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've written in previously a week ago, and I've done some research with your help. You have not answered my question yet, and I know you guys generally have a few weeks lag, and it's no problem, but I have been thinking, would I be wasting my time doing the Candida protocol if I'm currently on birth control? I'm getting married in 3 months, and the last time I tried to get off birth control, my entire back broke out, and I can't have that happening, seeing as my back will be showing in my wedding dress. I kind of have to cross out everything that is wrong with me. Is there a connection between Candida and hormone balance as well? Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to go through the rest of MariEllen's questions. MariEllen, I just want you to acknowledge you that we got your questions. And yes, we're usually about 2 to 3 weeks behind. However, if you've submitted a question before June 9th now, it should be answered on this weekend's podcast. Okay, so MariEllen, she wrote in, Dr. Cabral, you're amazing. I feel like you have made more progress in my health with listening to your daily show than any conventional medicine I've tried. I just got back blood tests with an ultrasound on my thyroid. Everything came back okay. I believe my symptoms to be adrenal fatigue. No one seems to agree. I've been on birth control for far too long. I'm going to just give the cliff notes to MariEllen's question. Of course, everyone can read it online as well. I'm getting cystic acne and not able to get it to go away. And I'm having difficulty falling asleep, irritable, snappy, anxiety, overwhelmed quickly, dry skin, frequent urination, purple nails, poor circulation to the hands and feet, no sex drive, neck pain, trouble swallowing, craving for sweets, extreme headaches, mind never stops racing, constantly worrying, startle extremely easily, grinding teeth, clenching teeth. Honestly, MariEllen, I don't need to read any further. I know exactly what's going on. This is extreme sympathetic nervous system dominance. This is fight or flight at its best. And this is the adrenal issues that you've been talking about. However, you don't have adrenal fatigue necessarily. You have what's called the alarm stage or resistance stage of adrenal-based fatigue. That means your body is fighting. It's fighting very hard and is producing a massive amount of adrenaline. Now, you might not be able to keep up with cortisol levels, but you're certainly producing enough adrenaline to make your body feel this way. You're feeling all the symptoms of being in survival mode. You're feeling all the symptoms of being in fight or flight, all the symptoms of being catabolic. And yes, that dramatically changes your hormones, dramatically changes them. Why? There is one precursor and only one precursor to cortisol on the chart directly before it. It's progesterone. Progesterone becomes 17-hydroxyprogesterone, which then becomes cortisol. You steal progesterone each and every day that you call for this much cortisol. So would I run an adrenal hormone test if I were you? Absolutely. Like without a doubt, I would check that out. I would also do a hair tissue mineral analysis. That will give you your answer. I mean, right there. Hair tissue mineral analysis, saliva-based test for your hormone levels. It will show you your estrogen to progesterone. You will run this 5 to 7 days before you get your period, so day 1 of menstruation. You'll look at your cortisol, that's 4 times a day. You'll look at your DHEA, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. It will give you the answers that you have been searching for. If you were to go off of birth control right now, you would feel that massive estrogen dominance. Okay, let's say you're not getting a period right now. You will take this saliva-based test during your time of highest symptoms, meaning like the irritability, the cravings, the headaches, the bloating, all of those things. That's the estrogen dominance that you feel, even if you're not on a normal cycle right now. So hopefully that answers your question, because I've seen this 1,000 times, and this is it. This is exactly what you're looking at. Now, could you do an organic acid test for yeast and candida? Yes, but the main issue right now is this fight or flight, this central nervous system, without a doubt, okay? Now, obviously, we're talking right now through the podcast, but if you're in my practice, you came in with all these things, yes, I would ask additional questions, but that is what I would tell you, okay? MariEllen's next part of the question. I went to the doctor for trouble swallowing. Got tested for my thyroid. Ultrasound was okay. They want me to go to a GI, maybe for esophagus-based issues. Could this be acid reflux? MariEllen, this is the same exact thing. This is fight or flight. You have trouble swallowing because swallowing is legitimately a parasympathetic nervous system activity. I saw someone in my practice just this morning. They're my first wellness client that I saw of the day. 8 a.m. they came in. Could not swallow. They have massive sympathetic nervous system dominance, anxiety. Why? Swallowing legitimately, like you swallow once, but it's supposed to get the food all the way down. This is high fight or flight because it's the sympathetic nervous system that doesn't allow for the swallowing. It's the parasympathetic that allows for the smooth muscle relaxation that allows you to swallow. It also allows you to have normal bowel movements, to have normal movement of food through your body. Now, again, a lot of people might think that this is like GI-based issues. No, this is nervous system-based issues as a root cause, lending themselves to symptoms of digestive-based issues. This is nervous system first. MariEllen, hopefully that helps. Okay. Emily is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I need to get all 4 of my wisdom teeth extracted in a month. What can I do before and after the surgery to help me heal faster and detox from the anesthesia? So, this is really great. This is great that you're asking. So you're having all your wisdom teeth out. What's that going to be? So a lot of times they put you on antibiotics. That will be your choice. What I use instead of antibiotics is the immune boosting protocol, which we'll link up in the show notes. So it's very simple. It's the adult immune boosting protocol. So there's that. And then I also use grapefruit grapefruit seed extract drops. So just the GSE drops, they're very bitter. They're very powerful. You can put them in a little pomegranate juice if you need to, a little cranberry juice if you need to. But those 5 drops twice a day are a massive, very, very powerful antibacterial. What else would I do? Well, we mentioned before in the podcast a cool little brand called Lucky Mouthwash. That's a great mouthwash that's made from oregano oil. I know that sounds kind of gross. It doesn't taste like that, but hydrogen peroxide, that helps clean the mouth. So that cleans the mouth from getting abscess-based bacteria. Really, really great. You can spray colloidal silver. That works as well inside of the mouth as a spray. And one of my favorite sprays is part of our ENT protocol, and that's by Nutribiotic. And that product is called Throat Spray. Very nicely named. So that's what I would recommend in terms of like the antibacterial. But yes, I would absolutely do the detox right away after you get your wisdom teeth out. That would be my recommendation. Now, one more thing that I have to recommend, and that's increasing your vitamin C levels for 2 weeks before you get your wisdom teeth removed and for 2 weeks after. How much vitamin C do you ask? 1 to 3 grams, 2 to 3 times per day. How do you know when you've taken too much vitamin C? You get loose stool. So once you get loose stool, you say, okay, my vitamin C stores are filled up. I don't really need any more because it's just moving through my bowels. Okay, so 1 gram at each meal, that would work fine. You could do that. Or you could do 1 to 3 grams at each meal. That would work fine as well. It's water soluble. I like you to do at least twice a day, so morning and night, that would be fine, or if not, every meal. So Emily, hopefully that answers your question, and that should get you through it. That's absolutely what I would do. And there's a lot more you could do, but I don't think you need to. You're not having mercury amalgams removed. You're not having any metal base done. You're just basically dealing with these side effects of the anesthesia that you absolutely do want to get out of your body as well with a good detox, and that will help. Infrared sauna, little bonus, and Epsom salt baths for a few days after you do the procedure as well. Thank you everyone for tuning into another Cabral House Call, and I'm looking forward to answering more of our community's questions tomorrow. Take care. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.